And gosh darn it, people like you. Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Got the worst news of the day. I've got so much news, and it is bad, really bad. So like some would say some serious doom and gloom, but honestly, when you know the truth and you know things are going to crap in a handbasket, you can make money from it, and that's what we're gonna do today. So I have a list of news stories, all of them, well, no bueno. But we have to consider the other side. We have to consider how we're gonna make money from this. Let's just dive right in. I can't hold back my excitement. Cybersecurity alert issued for M&T Bank customers after worldwide software hack. Now, just so you know, yesterday was sort of a big deal. A lot of banks got hacked. I can't even go into all the banks because the news is just coming out, and there's some banks that are trying to hide it from you. And there was also a massive cell phone outage. Type 1, if you experienced issues with your data on your phone, being able to text or call, I actually got some emails from people that were having this problem. I have seen some glitches in the internet service in the last couple of days, even playing YouTube videos. I'm listening to music on my YouTube and it would just stop pause. And my wife's phone had the same problem. It was the craziest thing. I have a feeling we're going to see more of a grid blackout, quite frankly. And this is yet again, not every bank was affected. Not every bank was hacked. Have your stuff spread out. It's so important. Check this out. PINs and passwords were not open to hackers. Also, no customer social security numbers, birth dates, or debit card numbers were disclosed. But this is with M&T so far. You don't know about these other banks. We're going to find out in the next few days. If you're one of the thousands of M&T Bank customers here in Western New York, you may want to look for a letter in the mail. So that's cool. They send it to you snail mail. You've been robbed. Okay. On a major cybersecurity issue affecting your bank account. On your side, sought to find out more. Letters from the Buffalo-based M&T Bank were in the mail last week, and last week? There was crap going on yesterday. All right, well, again, we're going to keep finding stuff out. See how long it takes. This news article story came out yesterday, and it's crazy how long it takes information to get to us, even in a day and age of the internet where we can just find stuff like that. That's my goal, is to try and get it to you way before the information, before the news gets it to you. It was actually a worldwide ransomware attack launched by Russian hackers. You can't make this crap up. Using a virus called Clop. You know, you'd think that if you got it made a virus, you'd give it like a really cool name. But I guess they're all out of virus names these days for us, which struck government agencies, educational facilities, and corporations. It was actually discovered back in May with a formal warning in June from CISA. Hey, just real quick, they got to keep mentioning Russia because they're trying to get us to war, right? Type 2 if you agree with that. They want, and what I mean is the elites want a shooting war, a hot war between the US and Russia, superpowers, because the economy, the global economy is collapsing. So we have to keep this in our minds, and we have to weigh everything, not with emotion, like it just, everybody. We got to think. We need to slow down. We need to mull it over. Oh, I get it. Some little tiny, measly non-men around the world that have lots of money are trying to get us into a war because we're pawns to them. All right. What are we going to do to fight back? We're not going to scream and yell. We're going to consider all things, come up with a plan of attack, and then do it. You guys agree with me? All right. Sorry. I'm in a weird kind of mood right now because it's one thing to be doom and gloom. It's another thing to get pumped and excited about this opportunity. My goal is just to try and find millions of you ready to rock and roll with this. Let's dive into the next story, why don't we? And again, I got lots of stories to go over with you, and it's all about doom and gloom, but I'm just going to give it to you with a smile. I wish I had an editor. Little bing on the tooth, a little shiny thing. It's out of Business Insider. Millions of student loan borrowers' balances are now starting to grow again after over 3 years. Now, before I do this, there has been a rumor, and this is a rumor, so do not take this as financial advice, that our Presidente-in-Chief, Jeff Borgen, has put some verbiage into some kind of bill that if you don't pay your student loan when they start or due again, that it's not going to be counted as delinquent. I have not confirmed that. I need to find more information. If you got it, get it to me. but I want to, because I think he's going to be trying to do everything he can to either get reelected himself or get another Democrat in there. Okay, so I'm just looking for the lies to expose the lies. So just let me know about that. But this is talking about the interest. It says interest started to grow on federal borrowers' student loan balances again on Friday. This signified the end of the student loan payment pause that began in March of 2020, and borrowers' first bills will become due in October as they await broad student debt relief. Now, think about this. I have a buddy that just said, yeah, I was waiting till the very end to pay off mine. He only had a few $1,000s left, but he was saying, hey, if it's going to get, dissolved or, forgiven, why not take advantage of that? And I can't disagree with that. But he did finally pay it off. But how many people in our country have done that, just waited, hoping, praying that it gets dissolved, it's gone, only to find themselves in even more debt because they found a car that they wanted that they couldn't afford, so they got payments or did something else. Like, this is going to be a big deal. And remember this, no matter whatever the government pulls to try and bait you or trying to buy your vote, right, by promising if you vote this way, you're going to be prosperous, which only is leading you to more and more financial hell and disaster and in a jail over time. It's what most people don't realize. I lost my train of thought. Let's just dive right back in. Next story. New York Post. Inflation squeezes Americans as 61% they live paycheck to paycheck. Now, do me a favor. Type 4 if you are living paycheck to paycheck. And then I want you to honestly put one thing that you could do that could help this situation. I don't want to hear any of these 4s and no, the end is near. There's nothing I can do. There's always something you can do. Now, I can guarantee you after that little speech, nobody's going to want to type 4 because they're like, well, that's way too much work, Ninja. I got to type 4 and then I got to give something I can do. Okay, so my point being is this. There is always something we can do, right? Usually the one thing, it's the lowest hanging fruit in life, is working that 6th or 7th day. Right? And then, and I'm going to be honest with you, and a lot of people say that I have a problem. I don't think I do. I like what I do. I have worked for 7 days a week, almost for an entire 10 years. I know that sounds crazy, but what I did was I was working as a firefighter, and I would go home and I had businesses that I ran, and I would be working. And a couple of those businesses were run out of my home, between the palm trees and the trailers. So I was always around my family. My kids were with me on trailer pickup trips and stuff. But I've worked 7 days a week for 10 years. I've been stashing money away, hiding money, buying investments, things like that to get where I am now. But most people don't want to do that. So I don't have, especially in this next downturn, this cycle down, I don't have a lot of heart. There's very few people that I've really looked at that I've known and seen, man, you had everything come apart. And I know what that's like too. When my mom died, my renter died, an insurance scam happened all within 90 days. And for the next year and a half, 2 years, it left us reeling. I mean, we were in mitigation. We were dealing with the loss of my mother, and finances just going out the door. So I know what that's like as well, to have catastrophic things happen to you. But by and large, there's always something that we could do. The question is, do we want to do it? Now, on the side of people, and let me know below if you've been working your butt off the last, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, maybe even 10, and you are seeing these opportunities, because not everyone is going to take advantage of opportunities. And not only that, even if they wanted to, most people can't because they aren't prepared. They don't have a savings set up. They didn't think about their credit scores. They didn't, position themselves right in the right time for the right time. There's nothing you could do to change that of other people, so you might as well take advantage of it. And that's what I want to see you do. I want to see you absolutely crush it. I do not want the banks buying up these assets for pennies on the dollar. So here we go. Inflation squeezing Americans is 61% say they live paycheck to paycheck. It says more than 6 in 10 Americans say they are living paycheck to paycheck as the rate of price increases remains stubbornly high. It's going to get worse. Sorry to say that, but it's just going to. We're going through a worldwide economic fiasco, and there are trade embargoes that are going to change. There's trade agreements that are changing. There's all kinds of stuff changing with the building up of the BRICS nations, the separating from the West. It's just absolutely insane. I got to do a story on the Dry Baltic Index. It says, despite the Federal Reserve's battle to tame inflation, They are not battling. They didn't raise fast enough. They told you, oh, we're going to get on this inflation thing, but we're going to wait 4 or 5 months to start. They wanted you to experience this. They want the banks to crash. They want the big banks to take over the little banks. It's actually quite simple, but it's okay. I've been called a simpleton, and I've learned to just enjoy that because it is actually quite simple. So I'll own it. The survey, excuse me. Oh, hey, calm down, Ninja. The survey by Lending Club found that 61% of adults reported they're barely making ends meet in July, an increase from 59% compared to the same month a year ago. Hey, I just got to ask, I'd love to see those ones that sign that. I would love to be in like the parking lot. Can you fill out this this survey for me? I get $1 every time someone signs it. And I just watch them check that box. I'm barely making them. What car do you drive out there? Oh, look at that. The brand new car. Isn't that nice? What car did you drive before that? I'd love to ask them questions because after a while they go, gosh darn it. Okay, really, it's my fault. I'm telling you, I drove a Honda Civic, a 1991 Honda Civic for a decade. The guys at the fire station mocked me relentlessly because it was this little gangbanger, tweaker car with nitrous oxide. I paid $2,000 for it. But and I had a big diesel truck, a salvage style diesel truck, but that didn't do well it was great for my construction business, but I didn't want to drive it back and forth to work. And they mocked me relentlessly. Even 2 police officers, rolled their eyes at me and my wife as we got out. And but that car saved me hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month on fuel because of my commute. And most of my cars have had no paint. As a matter of fact, the Kia that I have right now, the paint's just falling off of it. I mean, I look at that thing sideways and I swear a paint chip this big flies off of it, trying to keep it out of the wind. But my point is I did that, not caring about what other people thought, because I wanted to make it somewhere in life. I wanted to be able to support my children. And I don't agree with college, but I want to give my kids every opportunity to a certain point, and then you're on your own. Matter of fact, they're on their own for a lot of things. My son wanted to become a pilot. I told him I'd support him and give him all the ideas on how to do it himself, but he had to pay for it. And he did it, and he owns that thing, right? But I'm gonna provide my children with the best education possible, both in the school system and mentally as I raise them, right? And so to do that, I had to make sacrifices. And so few people in this world make sacrifices. So for every single one of you that are making sacrifices right now, type the number 8, which is also an infinity sign, because this is going to last you for all of eternity, this lesson. When you are crushing it and you are sacrificing that vacation right now, or you're sacrificing that brand new truck right now because you're saving up, you're getting ready for this. You type 8 because this is going to pay you back in 10, 20, 30 times its value when this thing goes crashing down. And it's not going to be stories of doom and gloom. I mean, we're just going to be reporting the truth, like everything's collapsing around us. But hey, look, we just bought this entire store's inventory and we're selling it on eBay. Oh, hey, look, we just bought this house out of foreclosure and we just rented to this really kind family and I'm giving them financial education while they're renting. Oh, hey, and we're going to get them into that house because it'll be a rent to buy, rent to own kind of thing. I can't wait to do those. You identify really good people that didn't know about this crash ahead of time, and they're in these homes. And hey, you know what? You've been a great tenant. I would love to offer this to you. Let's work out something to where you can build equity in it, and then give them ownership, give them excitement again, give them hope again, and let's get you out of this. Because I know that as I help you, I'm not only going to make money because I position myself right, but as you launch and you go take off, and I go, okay, now you go and help other people. It's going to come back to me 10 times. All right. That's what I want to show you guys. That's what we're going to do together. It's going to be super exciting. Anyway, let's just dive back into the doom and gloom. Okay. The survey dovetails with newly released data from the federal government, because those dudes are telling the truth, Thursday, which showed that personal consumption expenditures index, a key inflation measure closely watched by the Fed, rose 0.2% from the previous month. Wait a minute. This crap keeps getting worse. That means the Fed's going to have to raise again. Poor Johnny Bravo's going to be wrong again. Did I say that out loud? Core prices, which strip out the more volatile measurements. Right now, he's like in bed with his face mask. He's like got his cappuccino, spits it out. Dang it, the ninja called me out. Love that guy. Core prices, which strip out the more volatile measurements of food and energy, you got to do that because inflation will look really ugly, have risen 4.2% from the previous year. Wait a minute. I thought the Fed said we were going in for a soft landing and everything was going to be great. No, they didn't say that. Jerome Powell said, you're going to experience pain. That's what he really said. He actually said that. And you're going to. You already are, but it's going to get much worse. I hope this wakes some people up. I hope some people are like, wait a minute, this is really bad news he's saying, but he's saying it with a smile. Why is he doing that? Join the club. Get ready. Be a part of Ninja Nation. People that are prepared and not scared. You can start right now. It's as simple as just saying the word no. When they at Home Depot, I got a real story for you. I'm just going to tell you this right now. When they come up to you and they go, would you like to save $50 to enslave yourself in more debt with a credit card? They actually don't say it that way. They say it much nicer. Would you like to save $50? You just got to sign up for this credit card. You just say, no. And they're like, what was that? No. And like, we don't know what that word is. We don't hear it a lot. You're like the only person that's ever said it. Can you tell me the true meaning? I'm part of Ninja Nation. I don't even know why I'm saying this in like an accent, but I say no. Buddy of mine goes to Home Depot the other day. He's a smart kid. He's in line and they're like, hey, do you want to save $100 by pretty much taking a survey? He goes, we're running a promotion right now. You want to save $100 part of the promotion? He's like, heck yeah. And like, we just need your name. And he goes, oh yeah, my name's blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's a weird name. Anyway, just joking. I just have to leave his personal info out of this story. And they go, yeah, and we just need your phone number. Yeah, we just need your name. Now we just need your phone number. They got to the Social Security. They got his address. They got all this stuff, right? The guy's just typing it in. He's like, because they get a bonus every time they talk you into being a slave and getting a credit card, right? So this kid at Home Depot, and I'm going to try and find out who it is because he's at not my local Home Depot, but the next one. And I want to go in there with a camera and I want to film this kid. This would be a great video. And he goes, no, I'm not giving you my social. Why do you need my Social Security number? And he goes, oh, for the credit card. He's like, I don't want a credit card. He goes, oh no, it's going to be great. You want a credit card. You're going to get all these bonus points and stuff. This kid had it down. Like, I want to meet this kid in Home Depot. Not only do I want to exploit his little scam on YouTube, but I also want to say, kid, you're a salesman. And he goes, no, I don't want a credit card. So he walked out. So I'm going to try and find out who this guy is. But my point being is that we're talking about the Federal Reserve, right? We're talking about the government that does nothing. The Federal Reserve is lying to you. Look at this. Again, core prices, we're talking about inflation, their inflation metric, which strip out more volatile measurements of food and energy. Yeah, volatile. They're going straight up and they're going to get worse. That is a serious message. They have risen. This is after all that volatile crap that keeps going up extremely. Just core prices minus the crap that's really going up high still are up 4.2% from a previous year. So what does that tell you about the Federal Reserve and raising rates? They're not done. It's almost like the ninja's double-digit mortgage rates prediction's gonna be right. Don't worry, I'm not right about anything. All right, here we go. The report found that Americans were spending more to eat out at restaurants and go to live shows as well as on toys, clothes, and prescription drugs. I know friends of mine that are always eternally broke. They tell me all the time how broke they are. And you know what's really cool? I get to see their Facebook page. I get to see they're just at the Metallica concert. How much does a Metallica concert cost? Put down below what you think a Metallica concert ticket would cost per ticket. I've been watching this guy go to Metallica concerts and all these concerts his whole life, but he's always broke. He's always broke. Always on vacations. They're right there in front of you. He's probably watching this right now. He's all, dang it, ninja. My point being is this. Life is choices. If you want to be wealthy, you got to do what wealthy people do. That's what I've been doing I really woke up to that about 2001. Before that, I was on my own, just horribly losing. But I changed my habits. And that's what you could do right now during the greatest crash in the last 100 years. I mean, the last one was started with the flu. You can't make this crap up. All right, stop. All right, here we go. Ordering a dish that includes beef and veal was nearly 11% more expensive in July compared to the same period last year. How many people are buying veal right now? I think the New York Post has lost it. We don't care. I don't. Hello, New York Post. Yeah, the last video you're trying to use the example of high inflation and buying veal. Your subscriber base can't afford it. Leave it out. See, I'm helping everyone. Drinking a beer at a bar or a restaurant was nearly 4% more pricier last month compared to July of last year. Well, not Bud Light. That crap's cheap because I'll never drink it. The price of clothing and footwear went up by more than 2.4% in July year over year, while clothing for kids jumped 5.4%. Americans also have been spending more on medicine according to the latest government data. The cost of pharmaceuticals soared in July by 3.4%, while the price of prescription drugs rose 2.8%. Come on, Federal Reserve, you have a 2% mandate. You want to destroy our currency at only a rate of 2%. You're doing a much better job right now. You need to cool your jets. A trip to the dentist or dental hygienist cost 5.3% more last month than it did last July, according to data. How many of you have been to the dentist or the doctor lately and your appointments get changed because the doctor wants to go and play golf? Type 10 below if that has happened. That crap pisses me off. Doctors and dentists, well, I've got a golf game to make at 3 o'clock, so change all my appointments. Oh, yeah, of course you can do that, doctor, because you're charging more. What's costing more about the doctor's visit? Because last time I checked and I went to the doctor, they do crap. They do nothing. Yeah, how are you feeling? Okay, yeah, I'm not listening to you. I'm just thinking about my golf game at 4. Here, I'm going to put this tongue depressor in your mouth, look at something. I'm still thinking about my golf game. And here's the bill. Total crap. Oh, hey, wait, hold on. I love this part too. I'm going to refer you to somebody, and on the backside, I'm actually getting a referral fee. How do you like that? That's where your inflation goes, referral fees. But most people don't even know that's how it works. The latest data come as that doesn't even make sense. The latest data come as Fed. How about the latest data comes? It's coming. It's current. Whatever. I wasn't very good at English. As the Fed weighs whether to again hike interest rates when it meets later this month. This is the most important poll of right now, of this minute. Type 11 if you think the Fed is going to raise rates this month. Type 12 if you think they're done raising rates. I'm just curious what you think. There's 1,623 people on right now, and like a quarter of you have hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. So let's just see. Oh, there's a bunch of 11s. There's very intelligent people in this house. Now, wait, could the Fed pause like they did in June? Yes. But you remember how many people, when they paused in June, I go, if they pause, they're not done. They're not done. This is just a reprieve to be able to make quarter 3 numbers not look so bad. And that is exactly what they did. They're trying to ease you into this crash. They're right back to ramping up. They could pause again and delay the inevitable, but they know the more times they pause rates, the worse it's going to be moving into hyperinflation. The central bankers are widely expected to leave the rate in the current range of 5.25 to 5.5 after increasing it 25 basis points in July. Well, I do not think they're going to keep it the same. I think they're going to raise it like so many of you are. Earlier this month, the chief economist at Moody's Analytics reported that Americans are spending $709 more per month on everyday goods and services compared to just 2 years ago. Woo! I mean, you look at that $709 and you look over the average wages of America, and that is quite a staggering percentage. And we haven't even hit hyperinflation in food, and that's coming. That is coming. I believe that you're going to see hyperinflation, a mini bout of hyperinflation, not like Venezuela, not like Turkey, because we are still the world's reserve currency, losing it rapidly, but we still are. It's going to be I think you're going to see food at least double, if not go up 200% from here. I'm sorry, 300% from here in the next 2 years. And that is going to be widely due to the inability to source food at a proper price from another country due to a corrupt government, our government, that has set up trade agreements and takes our avocados and ships them to another country so that they can tax them. And then we have to take Mexico's avocados so the government can tax them before they get to us. It's a horrible, horrible scheme. If we were just to produce our own food and eat it here, our food costs would be wildly less expensive. Type 13 if you agree. Because I think that we are seriously behind the movement of knowledge when it comes to, if that's even the right term. I just wish people understood how trade agreements worked and how these tariffs are a hidden tax. It's absolutely horrible. It's like going to the gas pump and realizing that most of the money that's going to fill up your tank goes to the government and not to the producers of the oil and the refiners of that oil into gasoline. It's absolutely horrible. We pay so much in taxes. Type 14 if you agree and you're pissed. Think about this, at how much taxes we pay. You get taxed, income tax from the federal government, then you get taxed from your state. But if you don't get tax-free there, you're paying still close to the same taxes in your school taxes and all these other taxes. Then you go to the store and you're paying sales tax. This is absolutely insane to me. We have got to stop this. There have been wars fought for less than this. Think about the tea tax. The Boston Tea Party was what, 2.5%? The high inflation of the past 2+ years has done lots of economic damage. Mark Zandi tweeted, following the release of the Customer Price Index, a closely watched measure of inflation that tracks changes in the cost of everyday goods and services. Now, this brings me to my last story, and I believe this is the most important one. This is insane, and this is going to create such a massive, massive wave of foreclosures and coming catastrophes, big fires that take out cities, earthquakes, hurricanes, and it's going to be a great opportunity for you to swoop up land and properties for literally pennies on the dollar, okay? And this is something that is not avoidable now because people are just making the decision. They're making poor decisions, right? Hold on real quick. Before I get this story, I'm gonna answer this question. This is from Lisa. What's the pattern? Will prices go up due to inflation or prices go down due to increasing interest rates? So that's a great question. So first off, you never have everything rise at once, right? Right now we have inflation that started with out of control money supply, the sloshing of money, the velocity of money buying goods and services. And as those goods and services got dwindled down because of the sheer demand, that created inflation. But at the same time, you also had inflation due to supply chain issues and people that couldn't wait. They weren't patient. So there's fewer cars being being built and put out on the car lot. People that were impatient went and paid the extra money for it, right? So that's one thing. Well, then you have bouts of deflation. You have these spikes down. We've been seeing over the last year with certain goods and services that are going down in price. One thing comes to my mind recently is airline tickets. I just went to Ireland. Round trip tickets were less than $1,000, where a year prior they were $1,400. So it's because less people were traveling. So there's these little bouts of deflation. Until then, the bubble pops official, and the bubble popping, it's actually really easy to see. It's when recession is declared. When recession is declared, everybody goes, oh crap, this is bad. And the news is all over. And faith comes by hearing, right? So when you hear the word deflation over and over, you go, oh my gosh, things are bad, so I'm going to do something about it. And they stop spending. And that's when things just cascade. And we are, 5 months from the official deflation announcement, recession, because we'll have two or more quarters of negative GDP growth because they recalculated it. And by mid-January, everything's going to be crashing down. But I think you're going to see worse things happening, really bad things happening in September, which is going to exacerbate this issue because of the banks failing in September and more layoffs coming. All right. So here is what I wanted to take advantage of. And I did put 3 more of those discount links to the real estate crash course. It's in the description because, well, it's just fun. 80% off, $199. And just so you know, everybody that bought the course, I'm putting a new lesson out tonight. So we keep adding. I don't even know where we're at, 32 or 33 lessons. So I'm just going to keep adding. This is out of the New York Post. Americans declining to buy homeowners insurance as premiums soar. More Americans are declining to buy home insurance due to increasingly expensive premiums, leaving them at considerable risk of losing their home and personal belongings in case of a disaster. Now, a lot of these people own their home cash and they're self-insuring. They said, you know what, I just can't see paying these high premiums. I'll deal with it if it happens to me. The problem is a lot of people don't think it can happen to them. And then all of a sudden their house gets wiped out by a fire or an earthquake or a hurricane, and they don't have the money to fix it, to repair it. That is a very serious issue, because one thing that happens in building construction, and I know this from experience from not only flipping homes, building them, developing, and then owning a construction company, is your house gets wiped out. You now got to bring it up to code. And that gets really expensive. And a lot of people don't even understand school taxes and how much they got to pay and all of it. It's just absolutely horrible. FEMA walks in and forces you to pay a contractor to scrape your property clear, to have all the contaminants and hazardous materials scraped off the top of the earth, disposed of, and you're all of a sudden you're hit with a $30,000 bill. That's absolutely horrible. There's horrible things that happen during disasters. And if you don't have the insurance to cover it, you're screwed. Right? So that is someone's decision to not do that. And usually 9 times out of 10, and I used to consult a lot of people on personal finance. I actually used to do that kind of stuff. I don't do it anymore though. But because I used to do business consulting. So I'd look at their personal books too. And because I was a business consultant, I could show them things that would save them a lot of money. And that was my old past life. And so you could easily see, oh, you have the money. You're just choosing not to do it. And so that's where this wave of foreclosures are going to come, and opportunities to buy these properties up. And you're not taking advantage of the person, you're taking advantage of the fact that they made poor decisions. But it's a real phenomenon. I mean, right now, there are people that cannot get insurance and they have a mortgage. And once the bank finds out, the bank's going to call the note due. And the bank is not going to hesitate taking that house. That is a serious thing, because the bank goes, oh my gosh, if that thing burns down, we're going to lose that $500,000 note. We're going to lose that $1 million note. We got to go get that house. And they're going to be very aggressive getting those. It's crazy. The national average on home insurance based on an annual policy that offers dwelling coverage up to $250,000. Well, hold on. let me ask you this. Do you think the average dwelling cost right now is $250,000? Yes or no? I'm going to say a big no, but let's just use it as an example. Soared 20% this year to $1,428 according to Bankrate. This is crazy if people can't pay this. The higher premiums, which have been blamed on factors ranging from inflation spiking to the cost of materials and labor to climate change. Do you believe in climate change? Type yay or nay. I hope you pick nay. But I don't want to sway your vote, so it's your vote. If you want to say, yay, climate change is awesome, are the root of why some 12% of U.S. homeowners decline to buy insurance, according to the Wall Street Journal. Some homeowners decide to go bare because their insurance provider declined to renew their policy due to increased risk of inclement weather. Fair or unfair, the fair access to insurance requirements is a state. No, I don't want to even get into that. Look, the point being is this. People aren't paying their insurance premiums. It's going to end up badly, because I think there's some more natural disasters coming. And I think that we need to wake up to the facts that if you don't have insurance, you're going to lose your home, and you're going to accept, even if you own it cash, pennies on the dollar for that property, because you're not going to have the money to rebuild it. And if you're playing chicken with your bank and you're not paying your insurance premiums, you're going to get a really rude awakening call. And I don't want to see that happen. So keep that going. Make sacrifices somewhere else in your life. You sign on the dotted line, and that dotted line says, if you don't have that insurance, we're coming to get your house. And they're not joking. They're going to do it. I've seen it personally. All right, with that being said, I thank you so much for watching. I'll put those 3 links. If the course is not $199 and you click the link, the sale's over. Don't buy it. All right, the Economic Ninja is out.